No, it's not a standalone Quest game, you do need a PC to play it. I played through the whole game with Oculus Link on version 23 with my custom resolution set to 1.1 times, and that equates to 3616 by 1840. I couldn't get it working with virtual desktop even with hours of tinkering. I'm sure there's a way, but it just wasn't found by me. You can see in the settings it fakes base stations and it does some magic to get working. It works like every other game for the Quest 2. The index has a button and then your last 3 fingers get grouped and your thumb in the middle. You can move them really slowly in this, which is a great detail. It works great on the Quest 2. I can't believe this game came out in 2017, so keep that in mind while I'm criticizing it. It's way ahead of its time. I tried playing Lone Echo in early 2020 and it just made me too motion sick, and it was great revisiting this game after getting some solid VR leg. I was not expecting this game to be this good. I watched a couple of reviews and thought it would be a short video experience with minor elements of interactability, and I wanted to play it because I love space. This is a full-blown AAA game and deserves a title as one of the best VR games on the market. It's up there with Half-Life Alyx, and it's one of the most polished games on the market. It's more polished than Boneworks. I was genuinely blown away. You play a robot called Jack. You're an Echo 1 unit, and your main purpose is to make humans feel like they have a companion while in space for prolonged periods of time. In this case, your companion is called Olivia. She's a British woman. You're on a mining facility within the rings of Saturn completing standard jobs, and things go wrong. That's all I'll say. The story is rich and fascinating. It just gets better and better and leaves you wanting more when it ends. Again, I was not expecting where it went, but it hooks you in and keeps you wanting more. I didn't really watch the trailer, so I had no idea it would be this good. It took me about 8 to 9 hours to do everything. I'm not sure if that counts me being paused in the menu and just having the game open, which I do a lot. An interesting mechanic is when you respawn, the game re-uploads your OS to another robot, which makes dying a lot more seamless and a part of the story. That said, being a robot took the fear away a bit. You're just a robot and you just respawn and there's no stakes, you have no emotions. I'd rather be a human. When it comes to the controls, you move around by pushing yourself and grabbing walls and objects like you would on a real space station. Using X and A, you have a little mini boost that helps restabilize you when you're moving really fast. Pressing the joystick on the left controllers boosts you forward, and on the right controller it pulls the brakes. It's very clunky at the start, but once you get going it's seamless. Towards the end of the game I was flying around fast, readjusting perfectly and going exactly where I wanted without thinking about what controls to press. It's hard when playing VR games because it's a new medium. I'm never sure if the controls just suck or you just have to get used to it. In this case they are great and you just have to get used to it, and when you do, they are amazing. I'm surprised more games haven't implemented something like this. Movement just feels natural and intuitive. You have access to a scanner tool by clicking on the top of either hand. You can scan objects and find out what they are, as well as the radiation level in that area. It's key in some missions where you have to check the radiation of a core to see which one needs to be replaced, as well as move around a highly radioactive area. It also acts as a button to interact with some electronics. Lifting your hand upside down, you can press a laser cutter. Use this to burn bolts off and remove glue and burn holes through obstacles. With the controller buttons, you can bring up a dialogue window that lets you choose what you want to say. It doesn't really change anything and it's a great addition. You can pick up the dialogue box and readjust it, which is great use of 3D space. I tried using multiple dialogue options on multiple playthroughs and it really changes what the character will say to you. A lot of the controls are symmetrically duplicated, so they work on both sides of your hands. When you tap on the left of your headset, it brings up an augmented reality, which names things and shows you waypoints, and if you tap on the right of your headset, it brings up a flashlight. These were great. But that said, I find the Quest 2 a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm constantly readjusting it, thus accidentally turning these two features on and off. Sure, I could pause, but I readjust so much that it's just not a feasible option. Sometimes you just need to lift the headset up to breathe, and these controls always get clicked. You also have to slide your hand to bring up your mission. It was a little annoying how missions don't automatically select, which means you have to go in and manually select them so you can get to a waypoint. There were also multiple points of the game where waypoints were glitched, so it was showing me previous waypoints from previous missions, which just made everything extremely confusing. I was having issues at the start, like the Quest 2 controllers banging into each other while you were trying to bring up the scan and laser tools on your hands or use the slider. The further I played, the less I was doing it. Towards the end, it never happened. The controls feel great and seamless. It's incredible how the game gives you so many controls and how they work together seamlessly, and you don't even think about it. It just comes naturally. You have your whole body, which almost is never where your body is in real life and does take you out of it a bit. Considering this game came out in 2017, it's pretty forgivable. I love how Half-Life Alyx just has hands, and this game should have that, I feel like. That's just my opinion though, and I could be wrong. It's also annoying how your hands just clip through everything. I feel as though they should be solid objects all the time, no matter what. It's like playing a game in no-clip mode, and it just doesn't feel right. Even with your hands closed, you no-clip, and it's strange because some objects don't no-clip, but others do. Glass in this game also just looks transparent, so you think you're about to go somewhere, and your hands go through, and then your head bangs into it. You can readjust your hand position when you grab something, which I haven't seen much in games with the Oculus controls. It's a great and cool addition. There were some loading issues in the game, so towards the end of the game, I had to play a section about 5 times, and checkpoints kept sending me back 10 minutes back in time, which was super annoying. It took 5 restarts, but other than that, it's great. When it comes to post-game content, there isn't much. I wish there was a sandbox mode to play in space. Once you finish the story, you can't really do anything except start again. That said, there is a free multiplayer mode you can jump into, but I'll review that at a later time. It's a native game on the Quest 2 as well, which is exciting. The face models look so detailed and real. The only thing that seems to move are the lips, but apart from that, I loved it. The bodies are just so realistic and to scale, and that extends to the robots as well. The ships look detailed, with each section looking uniquely built. The assets they made for this game are next level. The team at Ready at Dawn are very talented. The sense you get while you're in space is breathtaking. The lighting looks real, bouncing off the space station and onto objects. Seeing Saturn with its rings and space station is a sight everyone needs to see. This is going on my list of games to show people. The animations are also seamless and top-notch, especially recharging irradiation, opening doors, and the general animations are seamless and a breeze to look at. There are tons of little details. When you go far away in space, your body starts freezing. The game is full of tiny details like this. Your hands look so detailed and cool when moving them around in the light. Props to the devs for making them this detailed. I love how you can see through them because you're a robot. There are two main types of puzzles in the game. I wouldn't really call them puzzles. They more act like slightly more complicated door handles. There's a circular one where when you press down in the right place, it's not really a puzzle, it's more of a door handle like I mentioned. I did really enjoy these and I found them rather therapeutic. Moving circles in directions was another kind of door handle. Again, super easy, kind of pointless. I wouldn't remove it has its place in the game. One of the things I love about Lone Echo is it really surprised me how the game is open world. You have a ship that can take you to other ships in the space, and if you forget it, you just have to go without it and fly there. Most things you can see, you can fly to. This game doesn't really hold your hand, which is annoying at the start, but once you learn everything, it's amazing. I love when games do this. You kind of have to work things out on your own. Now, there are tutorials, but only at the start. They could have been incorporated into the game, but it doesn't matter. The voice acting brings you into the world. It's incredible, all around, especially Olivia. I'd rather be a human than a robot, but it is what it is.
Liv. Olivia.
Jack, I need you. Find a Fury transport and get back here now.
Olivia sounds amazing and feels like a real person. When you bump into her, she notices and sometimes pushes you away. It's just incredible. The voices of all the AI also sounds amazing. When you throw objects, you can hear them bang into objects, which makes the space feel even more real, especially in zero gravity. The sounds are the same on every surface, but that's a little detail probably won't notice. The gameplay generally involves you moving around and grabbing things and putting them in holes, scanning objects, twisting knobs, and floating through space. I was expecting a lot more of a cinematic experience, but the game has a surprising amount of real gameplay. It reminds me of Portal. It's incredible how it has no shooting or enemies, but it's so entertaining. I would love to see the developers implement shooting and zombies in a game like this. It would lend itself really well to a Dead Space type of game. That would genuinely be horrifying. It would be so scary with the light on and trying to kill zombies. Maybe that's just me wanting what I want in a game, but this feels like it just has so much potential to add something like that. It feels like there's such a strong foundation, it just needs those mechanics and enemies added. Now, I'm not saying that foundation is bad, but gunplay and enemies would be an icing on the cake. It would just be so perfect. Think Event Horizon sort of vibe. I was hoping the story would go there, maybe it will in the next one. The world is surprisingly big and open. You really feel like you can go anywhere. I was shocked by pretty much anything you can see you can fly to and go around in. It's really open in that aspect. There's also some side quests as well, which is a great addition. The game doesn't force you to do things in a linear way. You can go at your own pace. The game doesn't really hold your hand apart from the tutorials. It just throws you into the space and you have to work out what to do. I love this. Too many games think you're an idiot. This game assumes you have some brain cells. The mechanic where your ship is a radiation blocker felt really cool, and how you gain radiation and have to remove it. This was an excellent mechanic and added a level of stress and tension that was perfect. The feeling when you find a radiation inductor is amazing. In summary, this is a must-play VR game. It's up there with Half-Life Alyx. In fact, I'd go as far as saying it's my second favorite VR game. I cannot wait for Lone Echo 2 and what they do with this universe. The team at Ready at Dawn really know what they're doing. This game is a breath of fresh air and innovation, and it's just so authentic and not a clone of other games, and it deserves commendation. It's impacted me and pushed the medium forward in ways I didn't even think possible. I just really hope they add some form of gunplay in the next one. Thank you.